Hello everyone, thank you for joining me in my video. This is just about a Ford Cmax Grand 2011 model car. And what it is I have a stereo, which is stock stereo, stopped working about a year ago, and also this panel here doesn't light up anymore and doesn't function, it doesn't do anything at all. I can't even change the time or the date. So what does work actually is the hazard lights still work and the lock in there still works, but nothing lights up anymore and I can't turn the radio on. So on the 11th of April, today's the 23rd, on the 11th of April I ordered from China one of those 2-DIN Android screens, which will go into here. It arrived today, so this video is about the installation of that and how I got on with it, really, because a lot of videos I've seen out there don't really show much about the wiring and what's needed. Yeah, so I'm only buying a stereo because it doesn't work anymore, and I'm hoping that when I put the new Android in, I'm hoping this will light up again. Maybe it's that the car stereo is faulty and not making this work anymore, I don't know. So please keep watching to see more of this installation. So this is the box my new stereo came in. It was well packed actually, full of packaging, very safe. There's the top cowling, and there's the other part of the cowling that goes underneath that bit. The stereo headset itself, which is bigger than I thought it would be actually. It's looks nice and smart, strong. All the connections on the back. So that's where your main power goes into, and then this is connected to that. I'll show you that in a minute. USB 1 and 2. That was already plugged in when I got it. This plug here was. That goes into another part for the fan. And yeah, you got your GPS and your main radio aerial as well. So that's the head, that's the main screen. So in one of the bags you get a USB with 4 pins, a USB connector with 6 pins, a mini USB as well. You get an radio aerial connector, a GPS aerial connector, and a microphone, which I don't know where that goes because I've got no port for this to go into. And you get also a couple of tools to lift out the old stereo with as well. It's quite handy. In the other bag you get all these video AV leads, which you need this to be plugged in because all you use this for is this part really, for the fan. I won't be using these plugs because this is really to go to external monitors, maybe in the back of the car, to play video. This is the important part. This is the plug which your existing radio plug will go inside of to give it communication. This one I won't be using because that's not, I think that some cars have 2 plugs. This part is the CAN bus, I think it's called. It's what does all the magic, converts your car signals into the Android signal. I don't want your ball, Bailey. It's my dog. Again, these are more plugs that you'll plug into the back of the set as well. I'll explain those later. But this is the main thing you need to connect it to your car. This also came with it. It's a freebie apparently. It's a reversing camera. You get the connection cables with it as well, and you get the wire that goes to the back of the car to the front of the car to plug into the actual headset. But I've already got a camera in the back of my car, so I'm hoping I can use that one instead. Right, so for connections, what I've worked out so far, this main one from the main leads come from the car, that will be a power source. That will pop into there like so. Then this piece here will pop into this CAN bus. This is what does all the magic to convert all the sensors and whatever from your car into your stereo, and that will plug into that one just behind there, into there. Now this one with all the AV leads, really that goes into this port at the back, just there. And then from that one, you connect the fan, which is those black and white wire there, to this one just here, which comes out of these AV leads. This plug here is the one that's connected to all these main leads here, is the one that goes into the old clock display you got in the middle of the dashboard. That's where you get all your reversing sensors plugging into. So this 4-pin USB will go into the 4-pin USB in the middle, like so. And this 6-pin USB plug will go into the 6-pin socket next to the 4-pin socket. Now I've got no other connections. There's one connection left over just in the middle down there. I've got no more plugs to plug in, so I must imagine that one is this one here, which is an 8-pin plug, which is part of the main plug units, and that will fit just inside there. This is the aerial lead, will go into the main aerial in the car, and that just plugs straight into that hole just there. This is your GPS antenna, and that goes straight into that hole just there, and you screw it in. Okay, so that's all the plugs into place. All I have got left over is a microphone, which I don't know where that goes into. There's no plug on here for a microphone, so I'll have to work that out later. And the last one is the USB mini, which I won't be using that, but that can go in place of one of the other USBs instead. You can't have all 3 in there, only 2 USB plugs. So I'm going to attempt to do this changeover of my stereo at night time. I just can't wait to put it in there really, and I ain't got time tomorrow. I'll be at work all day anyway. So the first thing to do to get the old stereo out is this mat here. You've got to remove it. You can get some tools in there just to pry it open. It's just a bit of rubber. You just got to get something in there to lift it up. So once you've got that bit of rubber up, you've got 2 screws here and here. You need to use one of these star shaped tools. Okay, the size of it in particular is a T20 by 150. So you put that in the holes, and you undo the screws anti-clockwise. So once you've undone those screws, you've got to pop this top bit off. I use one of these tools just now. It's not easy in one hand, so I've done it off camera, but it pulls off quite easy with these clips that are securing it together. So put that to one side for now. And you've got a number of screws. You've got this screw here, and you've got the screw at the back here, and the screw just here as well. So it's those 2 screws are next to come undone. So once you've got those 2 screws out that were just there and there, this will just simply pull outwards like that. And you need to unclip this wire here, because you need to put this into the new wiring of your new stereo. And this clock bit here will just be put aside for another day. When you want to sell the car, maybe put it back in again to keep it somewhere safe. So I've just unplugged that. It's a simple lever bit here. You've got to pull this lever downwards to release the actual plug from the original clock face there. So that's now going to be put aside now for another day. Right, so behind this clock face you've got another screw that I'll undo, which is that one in the middle there. That undone there will release this bit of cowling here. Right, so now that screw down the bottom there has been removed, down the back here. This front piece now should come out quite easily. Just pull it out carefully. If you want to use a tool to get underneath there, by all means. But that will come out quite easily, like so. And that is going to be put aside. You don't need to use that on the next install. Now you're left with this now. Now I can see underneath here that before I bought the car, someone's obviously had an aftermarket stereo before, because someone's cut a hole here, look. So that's been done. That might save me a job actually, because I've got to cut a hole myself. So this wire is what went to the original clock at the back. You still need to use that in the new stereo. Right, the next screws to undo are these 2, 1 and 2. When you undo those 2, this whole fascia will come off quite easily. So now with those two screws undone, this front fascia will just pull out quite easily, like so. And you're left with that wire there. You can disconnect if you want to make it easy for yourself, but you need to reconnect that again when the new stereo is put in. So that wire can be unplugged if you like, for making it easier to install, for now. Now on your car, you might have a piece of plastic that goes across here, but mine's already been cut out here. This is what is screwed onto these two, so you might have two more screws to undo on yours yet, here and here, which means that my stereo is actually already loose, so I can just pull that straight forward. Once you undo those screws, you can pull it forward, and then you're left with the wires at the back, and you've got to unplug that main wire, that plug there at the back, and then those two as well, and that's what plugs into your new CAN bus and your new stereo. So that's the old stereo unplugged. That's the old plug socket, and those two wires there, I think they're for aerials and so forth. So put that aside, out of the way, and then you got this wire which goes to your front control panel where all the volume switches are. These two are what you use for your stereo, just what we're going to reuse again, and that one is also part of this new setup as well, where the original clock was originally. And that's how it looks now, empty. Now I found this wire here, which has obviously been put in by somebody else in the past, where they put their own stereo in. It looks like to be a camera feed there to the rear of the car, so I might be able to use that again. I'm not sure yet, but I'm going to plug it into the new stereo and see what happens. So I've just done a soft fit at the moment, where I've just plugged all the power cables in, apart from the front one, the front power, which is down there at the moment, just to see if it turns on, and it does turn on. So so far so good. Still got more things to do yet though. So all that's connected to the back of the car, or into the car, is the original clock into that plug there, which comes from the main feed. Where the stereo was originally plugged in, which is this one just here, is plugged into that big large socket, and that's it really. And the aerial that came with the car goes into that socket just there. So this one I haven't used, don't need to use that one, and that's it really. Okay, so I need to get this radio cable to the top. I'm gonna make a square there. I'm gonna cut out in a minute with one of these tools, a Dremel tool. So I'm gonna cut a nice little square for that to feed through, so it can connect to the Android. So the hole's been drilled. I've got my cables through the hole, and I've got all the aerial, the USB extension leads as well, and the radio aerial as well through the gap. So that makes it a lot easier now. And I've got those USB cables going down into the glove box, so I can just plug things into that, like USB memory cards, whatever, and so forth. Right, so something I noticed fitting this screen into place, I've marked it out here. I'm going to have to cut these bits out here because the screen wants to fit in that area. So I'm going to use my Dremel to cut this out as well, a little gap in here. Also, I think as well, what I'm going to have to do is Dremel off this bottom bit and this little bit sticking out here, because it's making it too high and not close enough to the screws I need to fix it to. So I'm going to do those cuts on these side pieces, because if you look at it here, it doesn't quite want to sit down flat with the screws, and also the side piece there where I've marked it, it wants to sit in there as well, so otherwise the cowling won't fit in place properly. So a bit of adjustment needs to be done there. So I use the Dremel on those two little corner bits, and that now allows the screen to fit into where it just needs to go into, because they're just in the way those little knuckle bits were. Anyway, we won't see all that when it's all in place. Also going to remove the bottom of these little nib things, which are this bit I'll take off, and this little nib bit here the same that side, because it's too far away from the screws otherwise. So that's the two nibs, all the nibs removed at the bottom, so the screw holes are now closer to the screw holes in the car. Just use a Dremel on those as well. So now with those bits removed, I can screw it down right to the floor of the dashboard there, and those grooves I cut out have worked out well. Makes it fit in there a bit better, because that was needed, those cutouts were. So you have to do a bit bit of cutting around by the sounds of it, but it's screwed down now, so we'll go from there. So it's all plugged in at the back. I've not put the cowl on yet, so I'll give it a test. So take ignition on, give it some power, and we have music. Okay. So I've got all the GPS plugged in, all the radio plugged in, everything else. So the rear camera, I've got it plugged in, but I'll set up another day. Alright. So you also need to remove these little metal clips off the old cowling, because they're needed to be removed to put on like this on the new one, so they can fix into place properly. Otherwise it'll all be loose.